life to discover new places, new ideas, and the bigger world around us. And I'm grateful for the role you play. Supporting your local station ensures that together we can continue to share these stories. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another edition of TopperTalk. And they say in the industry that the camera adds 10 pounds. That means we got 40 extra pounds of quality Hilltopper sports talk for the next 30 minutes.
Some extra pounds.
Extra pounds, yeah, not a big deal. Here with my cohorts in crime, I'm Sean Williams, along with
Shane Bearden,
Woody White,
Adam Haley.
What's up, Adam?
What's going on, Sean? How you doing, man?
Nice to have you back.
I was here.
You were here Saturday, but you weren't.
Okay, I
here
want to
last
tell
2
everybody
weeks.
I was on vacation 2 weeks ago to Florida, and then
hogs and
last Monday
Were you were you hanging out with the swamp people down there?
I did kill a hog while I was down there.
Okay.
And then last Monday I was at the district tournament. I'm a coach at Logan County, and we had district tournament last week. And so,
How'd that go?
well, we lost to Russellville, but they're playing tonight, so good luck to Russellville.
they're about
All right.
13 right now. Just
Let's,
the
let's
record.
not talk about high school sports. Let's talk about Western sports.
Let's talk about Western
Adam's
sports.
back in the fold, and we're going to talk about Western sports. So
The
let's
ratings are probably going back up too, so I'm back tonight.
Okay.
see what
Did you announce that decision?
I'm about to tweet it out.
Okay. Tweet out your dynamic return there.
Yes.
All right, so let's talk about men's basketball on a little bit of a mini winning streak, 2 in a row.
Get one more, and I think that's a winning streak.
Really?
According to Bull Durham, I think you have to have 3.
Well, I think it was different in Major League, wasn't it?
Ooh,
I
that
don't know
might
if
be
you
true.
win by double digits, 2 games. Does that count?
We can allow that, I think.
I think that counts.
We'll go with that.
So, what do you guys' thoughts? Are Topper's looking pretty good, especially offensively?
Our offense has actually improved dramatically just in the last couple games. Actually, even in our losing streak, our offense was pretty good the last three games we lost. But it was our defense has stepped up a little. I mean, we still allowed too many points to Lafayette, but
Yeah, we looked really good the first half. Of course, they were on fire too. They weren't missing many threes.
Helps when the shots are
I
falling.
think we scored 51 in the first
53.
53. So I think we scored like 49 against Arkansas State a couple weeks ago, and then scored 54 one game and 57 one game. So I mean, it's always good to score 53 points in the first half, and you got to feel good about your chances when you do that.
It's never a bad thing.
Yeah, no kidding. But I think they started off really good. They got to be able to just keep it going in the second half and step on somebody's throat and just put them out of the game. Like Jim McDaniels was talking about the other night. So, I mean, but it's good to get a win. I'm just glad we won a game.
Any road win in the conference, that's a good thing. It's something that it's always tough to get, even on a Lafayette team that was, they're 7-11 in the Sun Belt now. But, anytime you can go on the road and win, you're doing something right.
But coming into the game against us, they had won 9 of their last 10 home games, so they were, most of their wins on the season came at home, so they were a better team at home than they were on the road.
It's a good point. I mean, despite their record, which I think was like 11-17 going into the game, and they're still tough out at home. So it's like you said, they've won 9 of the last 11 at home. So it's pretty big to get a road win down there at the Cajun Dome. But
now the Toppers have a winning record again.
Yeah, 15-14.
15-14.
They're 9-9 in the Sun Belt Conference. So
tied for the 5th seed right now with Little Rock, but
they held the tiebreaker, right?
Yeah, Little Rock holds the tiebreaker, but we still got 2 games to sort that out. So
yeah. Now, Shane, you said earlier that the offense is running a lot smoother. What do you think the number one factor for that is?
I think the biggest thing for that is Fant stepping up his game a lot in the post. I think it opens the floor better. You have better spacing for the guards and stuff when, teams are focusing on him. When he's scoring well, teams have to focus on him in the post, and that, in turn, just opens up everybody else to be able to score the rock.
Good.
Yeah, I think
What about you,
Fant's, he's averaging like 18 or 19 points a game the last 4 games. And when you can get that out of Fant, a good post game, then it really opens up. And what we saw the last couple games is open up them outside shots.
Yep.
And, you know, the return of Jamal, which I'm sure you were about to
I was
say.
about to, yeah.
And that's really helped the offense out a lot.
I mean, you look at Jamal, he's averaging like 7 assists, I think, since he's been back. And that's, I mean, we didn't have that when he was out there. I mean, we had, you know, Brandon that would come in and score a lot for us. But I mean, you look at Saturday, we had 15 assists and 9 turnovers. I mean, that's huge compared to having 18 turnovers to 6 assists when Jamal was out.
That's not like the Hilltoppers this year. You know, they've been struggling with that stat
definitely a nice change for sure.
all year.
But, yeah, I mean, you just look at, like you were saying, with Fant and just the passing that him and Jamal have brought to the floor, our interior passing has improved dramatically. That's something that we didn't see at all the first 2-3 months of the season. And now you got Fant dropping passes to Alex, and he's dunking. You got throwing lobs to Kenny and stuff like that. I mean, that's something we just haven't seen. And, you know,
I know that alley-oop was nice to see.
I loved it.
That might have been the first alley-oop
That might be the first
All
one of the season.
all season.
That's kind of sad, but, I mean, anytime's
I mean,
better than nothing.
we don't resemble Five Slam and Jam or nothing like that.
I mean,
but,
we were all in shock when we were sitting here watching it, and we were like, did that just happen? Did we just
I
throw a
still don't
lob?
believe it. I don't think.
Kenny can go up after the ball, though.
Kenny can tear down the whole goal, I think.
Speaking of Kenny, I mean, he probably had his best game as a Hilltopper
Oh, yeah, for
Saturday
sure,
night.
yeah.
I mean, he played 19 minutes, had 4 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, but he was
4
you could-
assists out of Kenny is just
you
an
could
amazing
deem,
stat.
you could
It
deem
was
him Captain
great
Hustle.
interior passing.
You could definitely deem him Captain Hustle that game, especially in the first half. He
Oh,
was
yeah.
chasing after balls, and
I think
like
he
I
took
said,
3
he was
charges again.
Yep.
yeah, and he was doing a good job interior passing and everything. So I mean, he was a big spark for the Hilltoppers there in the first half. And that was a big key for them to score 53 points too.
You were talking
so.
about Jamal, you know, getting those assists and stuff again. One thing we didn't talk about in the show Saturday was that he actually passed A.J. Slaughter on the all-time assists leaderboard after the game against
moved him to
Lafayette
7th
Saturday.
place
Moves into the
all-time.
7th all-time. Yep.
That's pretty big. You know, we've had a lot of good guards here, and for Jamal to be moving himself ahead of AJ, I mean, that's pretty good company he's keeping for a guy that has kind of faced a lot of criticism in his time here. He's kind of. It's funny, the seniors that we're going to have going out in the class of 2013, you look at like a K1 Jakes and a Jamal and people like that have faced a lot of criticism.
Yeah, criticized.
They've still done
them,
some
you
good
know.
things too, and have ended up
They
being
really
pretty high on
stepped
the
up.
stats
Both of those
list, yeah.
guys stepped up in their senior year, and you know, you talk about Crook. I mean, he's, you know, assist-wise, he's money, but also, I mean, he's improving his shots too.
His
I mean,
shot has improved a lot.
he's shooting over 50% the last 2 games. I mean, he's got.
I mean, he's developed a three-point shot now too. I
I
mean,
don't think he hit a 3 his first 2 years here, did he?
No,
Yeah.
I don't think so. He was Anthony Sally his first 2 years.
Oh man, good name drop.
But like,
He did get that dunk at Middle Tennessee, though.
That was the highlight of his career right there.
but anyway, you know, Crook had 21 points and 6 assists against Lafayette. So I mean, he shot the ball really well, and you know, he's getting the stroke back. You know, coming back from that injury, took him a while to get it, and he was, you know, of course he admitted it after in the post-game press conference. He was frustrated with the shot, but I mean, that's definitely come back, and you know, we need a good mid-range game from him. I mean, like I said, I think Crook is the bread and butter of this offense. What makes it go, because he can penetrate, he can dish, he can shoot the mid-range jumper. I mean, he's a pretty good weapon to have back there.
I think
So
last I looked, he was still the most efficient offensive player in the Sun Belt. I don't know if that's still holding up right now, but I mean that's huge to have him on the floor as compared to when we didn't. I mean, you can obviously see the difference that we have had since with him back. So I think that's good going forward. Obviously, we've got 2 tough games coming up this week that he's going to have to be a huge part of. And you know, I think with him on the floor, you know, I think we can do some good things against these 2 teams.
Yeah, he's with the return of Jamal, you can kind of tell that Brandon's got his legs back, and I think the last 2 games he's like 8 for 15 from 3-point line, which is incredible when you shoot over 50%. So you know, if Brandon can stay hot, and which you know when he started off the season he was a really good shooter, then he hit a little slump there, but if he's got a shot going again, and then you got Jamal running the point, I think Western will be all right. Maybe not as good as what we thought they were going to be to start the season, but I think they're clicking at the right time now.
The pieces are coming together.
Yeah, they're getting the offense going. You can kind of tell in the post. Huge game from Kenny, like we just talked about, and Kenny's going to have to step up to the remainder of this season, and he's probably going to get some more minutes. But when you can get that post game going along and open up those shots for your guards, then I think we're definitely peaking at the right time.
Yep. Oh,
We'll see how it goes against South Al, but I'm expecting a win at home, and then you know we got to get some momentum going into Middle Tennessee and definitely into the Hot Springs Sun Belt tournament.
Yeah.
So speaking of those games this week, what are your predictions for this week's game, South Al and Middle?
I like our chances against South Al.
I
like
do
you were
too.
saying.
I do too. South Al, I mean, they're still a quality team, but seems like they've been on a little bit of a slump lately, not playing as well as they were at the beginning of the season. They are the number 2 seed in the East, and so it's going to be a tough game. But it would be nice to see a lot of people come out Thursday and support
absolutely.
the Tops. You know, when you're a team, when you're playing with a lot of energy in your home crowd, then I think that really does help out a little bit. And it's something that really we haven't seen this season yet.
We heard Jim McDaniels talking about that Saturday. He talked about, when he played, that they didn't lose a home game his entire 4 years here, I think is what he was saying. And you could just, when he ran out of that tunnel with that crowd, it felt like he was just lifted off the ground with this crowd. I mean,
he said they couldn't hear, the coach talk in the locker room because everybody was beating on the floor so loud and Diddle was just rocking so loud.
I'd love to see Diddle get back to that.
I mean, I remember him, he said that he actually thinks that, that made him a better player than what he probably was just playing in that environment on a game-by-game basis. I mean, that just says something about the environment that Diddle used to have and even, had, a few years ago, when Horn was here. And,
back in the 2006, 2007, even 05, my senior year of high school when Ty Rogers and them were going to the Sweet 16. But that year I came up for games and Diddle was nice.
08.
Yeah.
You dropped an 05 in there. It's all good.
Yeah,
I was starting at 05.
I got you. If y'all follow the Rivals account, I'm about to tweet out a picture of what the crowd looked like in 08, so y'all should check that out here in a second.
All right.
And the 08 was when South Al, we had the whiteout.
That's the one I'm going to tweet a picture of.
Yeah, and that was ridiculous, and that was a fun environment then.
It was, yep.
Well, definitely, you get a big crowd, it pumps up your team, and, just like Jim McDaniel said Saturday night, he probably played at a level that he probably didn't think he could ever play at. And, you get a big crowd into it and just into the game. Your adrenaline just pumps so much, and you probably feel like the Incredible Hulk out there, when you dunk and, hit a jumper and everything like that. The crowd goes wild afterwards. So, it's definitely a big momentum builder to have a big crowd in here, and definitely, also see all those cool signs out in the crowd, the big fat heads.
Students, I need to get into all these signs, man. I watch other schools, and they've got, fat heads of all the most random people in the world.
That thing's cool. You look at all the other student sections. Even Murray State was doing it last year, so the student section's a little behind.
Yeah, we need to get some more
our student
creative
section,
fat heads out there.
There's still a few in there, that cheer loud and stuff every game, but man, it's a far cry from what it was when we were all in the student section.
The bad thing about, and I don't want to harp on WKU fans, but the bad thing about the student section now is the people that are down there cheering, half of them aren't even students anymore, but they just love Western. They keep coming back to the game, so it'd be nice to see a little bit of student support.
So what do you think has to change about that?
Just wins, I guess. Just be a dominant program again. And I think when you do that, attendance really isn't an issue. You see Middle Tennessee, a couple weeks ago, they were averaging 5,500 a game, and I'm sure
I think they're like tops.
Their last
in the
game was
Sun
sold out. Just winning is going to get people back in the stands, but it'd be nice for people to be in the stands to support your team while you're getting back on track.
Our lowest attended game this year is still double what our lowest attended game last year was. Yeah. And that says something about, it's a process getting it back to where it fell to in the Ken McDonald era, trying to get everything back up to WKU standards, and we really, there's no reason. Diddle Arena only seats a little over 7,000. There is no reason in the city of Bowling Green and Warren County that it shouldn't be sold out every game. No reason at all.
Man, I got to go to Kroger Saturday night. Just kidding.
But, when you look at the football attendance, I don't know why the football fans want it. I know people from far off come down on Saturdays because it's Saturday. You can come down, travel a little bit. But still, if you can get, 15,000 to 20,000 people at a football game, I don't know why you can't get 6,000 or 7,000 at a basketball game.
Yeah.
Especially when historically you're a basketball program.
We're still pretty much a basketball school, I would think. And I would think most people would see us that way. So I
think a lot of people this year are just kind of, and granted we had a lot of injuries, but are just disappointed with the record and everything. I think they expected a little bit more, a 20-plus win season. But, like I said, we've been injured. We've had this has just been like a Band-Aid team,
Oh, absolutely.
So, I think that has a lot to do with it. You look at the record, you're like, we're not that good this year. We're just kind of 500 team, mediocre. But, we're obviously, it's like we said earlier, we're hitting our stride. What was that?
Sorry, I did that the other night, too.
You didn't get the warning, man. You didn't get the warning.
Robert was telling me to do it, too, and I didn't listen to him. Sorry, Robert.
We'll take care of you after the show, okay? But anyway, it's like you said, we're on a roll now, a little bit of a roll, 2-game winning streak. So, what do you guys foresee the attendance being for these last 2 games? Finish out at home. Of course, we got South Al, and then we got the big one, Middle Tennessee.
I'm going to say, I think we can get, close to 5K for the South Al game, somewhere around there. And I think MTSU game, if we win the South Al game, I think the middle game will sell out.
Okay.
I'd like to see at least, like about 5,500 to 6,000 here Thursday night for South Al. I think that's a pretty reasonable number. I mean, we've had between 45 and 5,000 most of the season, and
Do you know what the highest one? I think it was like 51, maybe.
I think a little bit over 5,000. I think somewhere right in there was our highest.
Highest one this
I mean,
season.
South Al, there's no reason it should be right there with the highest attended game, and then middle, it should be a sellout. Senior day with those guys, and then last game of the season against your rival. Middle should bring a good crowd. I know
It was
they've
pretty
had.
hype last year. I mean,
Yeah.
so you would expect the same thing this
Yeah,
year.
if we don't sell out Diddle, then Middle Tennessee fans will come up and get the rest
I
of the
mean,
tickets.
Middle's gonna have a
It's-
good crowd here.
It's going to be sold out either way.
Their students have been putting together some kind of initiative or something to get their fans up here or whatever. So
Are they starting a secret?
they've got some kind of
They
something
got
going
something
on.
going on.
If there's
The
if there's-
skulls of
You hear,
MTSU
hey,
are making
you hear that? You hear
making
that,
track.
Topper fans? They're
y'all
starting a
have more
secret
blue in
society
this
down there.
building than red, I don't even know. I'm gonna lose all faith in Western fans, I think.
Yeah, we need to stop that from happening. You hear us,
Jill's
still Topper
thinking about that.
fans? Get out there and get the tickets. Sell this place out.
$7 tickets too.
Yeah.
Because it's Fan Appreciation Day.
And it's not just for the men's game. I mean, this women's team has been really good this
Oh,
year
yeah.
too. Everybody needs to come out and see them. I mean,
That's a
they've
huge
got a
game,
20-win
too, yeah.
season. They just
Yeah, let's
reported their
talk about it.
850th win,
It's a milestone victory Saturday night for the women.
and I mean, they demolished
deserve-
Lafayette by almost 20 points.
They deserve to have just as many fans that are here for the guys game, I think. I mean, it's going to be a good Saturday to come out to Diddle. Hopefully, I mean, don't make excuses, just get here, man. Y'all got two good games to watch,
I
two
gotta go to
big games
Kroger,
to
man.
watch. Kroger's a terrible excuse, Sean. But I hear people do that kind of stuff, man. It's like, I'd just rather sit at home. It's too expensive, whatever, man. Just get to Diddle.
There's a sale on mac and cheese.
I'm sure some people will come up with something like that for sure.
But, talk about the historic win Saturday night for the ladies. I mean, also you got Chastity Gooch tying a record, right?
No, she broke the record.
Broke the
from,
record for
from
double
assistant
doubles.
coach Sheree Mansfield for double doubles in a season. So it's awesome for Chastity, as a sophomore. I mean,
Yeah.
it's,
I mean, she got 22 on the season.
I think that's right.
Yeah. I mean, 22 double-doubles in the season. That's pretty
crazy, yeah.
phenomenal.
You look at this team. They're going to be good for a while. They don't lose anybody off this team coming back. And we've got some good recruits. I think they wanted us to talk about that on Saturday. I think Shane's got them pulled up here.
Yeah, I got it pulled up. Hang on one second. Let me get that.
But I mean,
information
it's going to be a fun team to watch those next couple of years. They get after it, they play hard, and we need to support the team now so they can. They're going to want to stick around here and keep winning games for us.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of size coming in next year for the Lady Toppers. That's one thing they've been lacking this year is having a lot of posts. I mean, Chastity Gooch has still been doing her thing, getting
she's
those.
playing the 5 at about 5'10" or 5'11".
Yeah, but I mean, we have 3 players over 6 foot that we signed, that the Lady Toppers signed. One is Aaliyah Harris out of San Antonio, 6 foot forward,
Shout
6'2" Bria
Shout out to
Gaines
names.
Shout out.
from Glenwood, Illinois. And then we signed a 5'4" point guard, Kiara Muhammad from Paul Lawrence Dunbar in Lexington.
There you go.
And then Ruda, 6'4".
I'm not going to try to say her last name.
Yeah, I don't know how to say her
Try
last
it, man.
name.
Do
We're
it.
gonna-
Come on.
Savikate.
Okay. That
Maybe we're
works.
going to go with that.
People will
From,
kind of be interested. They'll look up her name.
From Latvia, 6'4" center, averaging over 2 blocks a game in high school. So,
Nah, I'm not going to say that. But, we got Bria Gaines. I know she made like the all-Chicago area team as a junior last year, and she's averaging like 24 and 16 or something like that this year. So I'm pretty excited about the girls they got coming in. They should have a pretty good chance to come in and contribute right away.
Yeah, I mean, you got size, too. I mean, 6'4", 6'2". I mean, that's some good size for a women's team. So
and to go with the guard play that we already have, I mean, that should make the team next year be even more special than this year, I would think.
I want to run down some of this interaction we're getting on Twitter right now.
All kinds of good stuff.
Shelby Worthington, who is a big fan and always watches the show, she was talking about the pitcher of South Al. Phil McGowan, he's also a big fan. He was talking about the pitcher as well. Cody Sparks also. And then Steve Reed asked if we all went to the barber today to prep for the show. But what we're doing, Steve, is we're not shaving until we lose again. And Woody's been growing that for about 7 days now. So
I know my mom's watching. She probably hates that I just put that out in front of the camera.
we can't clean up until we lose, since the winning streak's
Playoff
alive
beard
right now.
or something like that.
yeah.
Then also Daryl McGann, he's saying he stood up the whole game the other day. So Thank you,
I
Darryl.
think is it the whiteout game he's talking about? I'm guessing?
Maybe the whiteout.
With the clone trooper helmet.
Oh, that's right.
What it was.
Clone trooper.
I love being in the student section for the whiteout game back in the day.
I
It
did
was so
too.
much
Me
fun.
and me and Ricker did that whole throw the
Oh,
LeBron
powder?
James.
The powder? Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was
Those
fun
were the
back
good
then.
days, man. I wish it would go back to that. I'd love to see
I
that.
don't think students realize how much fun the student section can actually be if you actually go and cheer instead of just sit there and socialize.
Well, you know, we had some of the old student section. They came down for a game recently and kind of sat a couple rows back. You know, and they were standing up cheering, and they were talking about, you know, students sitting, you know, near the front, turning around, asking them to keep it down and telling them to sit down and stuff like that. Like, I mean,
I've never been
you're
to
in
a
the
student section anywhere else in the nation.
and you're near the front. Stand up and scream.
It's like a proper English student section.
Yeah, I guess. I don't
Tim
know.
Kickert, who also a T-shirt for winning the bowl thing. He was saying that
Tim, don't trust that.
he was saying if he remembered right, we lost that
We
game,
did
and
lose
we
that
did
game.
lose that game, but it was still a lot of fun. And the thing I remember from that game was the whiteout and how fun it was, not really the loss.
Remember Ty Rogers jumped over the press table, pretty much where we sit at now, and then stood
Almost
up
took
and
out-
tried to get
yeah.
the whole crowd pumped up.
Well, you were talking about student section maybe losing a little bit of its luster. I mean, you were talking the other night. I mean, maybe we should get in the student section
Well, I mean,
one game.
we were kind of thinking about maybe getting in the student section on Saturday for the MTSU game.
Is that still a possibility?
Yeah, it's still
I mean,
it's still a
if y'all want
possibility.
to see us in the student section, tweet at us or something. I'm not against it.
I mean, what are you
Zero
guys going to do?
tweets.
Are you guys going to be shirtless in Speedos or what?
Ooh,
No,
y'all
we
want to see
leave
me in a
that-
Speedo.
that's the swim team. That's the swim
Let's
team
take a
on
vote,
that now.
people.
Swim team better be
Vote.
there Saturday in a Speedo.
Hey, everybody tweet us at TopperTalk on our Twitter account, at TopperTalk, if you want to see Woody and Adam in Speedos in the
Not
student
in
section
Speedos.
It's
from
not going
Middle
to happen.
Tennessee.
It's not going to happen. Well, we may come down there and sit.
I might come down here and sit, yeah.
Not sit though.
just
We
gonna
would,
sit?
we would
Is that all
actually
you're
No,
gonna
yes. Way to correct ourselves there.
You're going to sit and tell people to be
just going
quiet?
to sit with everyone else.
Turn around and hush them.
So you're going to
Basketball
be
game going on.
going to be front and row and getting the crowd hyped up?
We might go down there and sit with Cody and those other guys and who else? Brett.
Stephen Corfage just said he would
Oh, yeah.
save seats for us.
Stephen Corfage, yeah.
I think that's how you say his name. Love you,
Stephen will be in his white suit for Saturday's game, and Ray will be in his red
Yeah.
jacket. And then you brought us a little magic last year. So
You guys got any red jackets you can wear?
no, I don't.
Oh, that's a shame.
Good.
Have a
Goodwill
white
run
one.
again?
Have a white one though. We can go to Goodwill and get another.
I'm sure Goodwill's
Get
got
up.
something good for us.
All right. What else we got to cover, Sean? I know you got a lot of other stuff on that sheet, and we probably
There's
haven't
a lot
even
of
touched it.
basketball stats.
We can go with talk about the baseball team, avenging the football team's bowl game loss, and
Little Caesar's bow on the diamond.
taking the series over the weekend against Central Michigan, winning 2-1. You know, they played well the last
I
game.
saw,
We had good pitching pretty much the whole
Scott
time though.
Wilcox got his 100th career hit. I know that's one of the bigger stats from the weekend that I saw. But, yeah, I mean, anytime you can win a series, that's always a good thing. You know, they've started out the season 3-3, split the 2 series they've got. So, you know, the offense had a couple good games this weekend. So if they can get rolling, I think we've got the pitching there to win some
Yeah.
games. So if the offense gets going, we haven't, let's see, outside of the first game of the season against Bowling Green, we haven't given up more than 6 runs. And we still won that game because we put up 12 runs. You know, if you're giving up only about 4 runs a game, you're going to be in pretty much every game. So if the
Yeah.
offense gets going, we're going to have a pretty good chance to have a good year, I think.
It's one of those things where the bats need to get hot, and
Yeah.
maybe it has something to do with the weather. So.
Cold weather is a little tougher sometimes, you know, but yeah, as it get warmer, you know, we'll start heating up
The
too.
Lady Topper softball team, they went 3-1 in the Bowling Green Classic
Yeah.
over the weekend too. So you know,
They're going to Hawaii, aren't they?
yeah, they're
Saw
going to
that on
Hawaii.
Twitter.
Man,
next
if y'all need
couple
some people
days,
to carry bags or something, y'all give me a shout out.
See if we can
no,
get some,
Honolulu.
see if we can get some creds. And see if we can get our trip paid for to go.
I'm fine with
go
that.
around.
Okay, y'all just want to be bag carriers for the.
I'll do whatever it takes to go to
softball,
Hawaii.
Whatever.
I'll go to Hawaii.
Just go drop off their bags, go to the beach, come back when the game's over.
Deal.
Work for me.
All right, guys.
What else? We
Go
also
ahead,
had the men's swimming and diving team, which is actually in Conference USA. They competed in the Conference USA Invitational Diving Tournament. Placed second behind defending champion SMU. That was a really good finish. I
That's
mean,
pretty huge, yeah.
there's some good teams in that division. I mean, and SMU is one of the best, you know, men's swimming and diving teams in the country. So,
Oh yeah.
you know,
I for sure.
for Western to finish, yeah,
Go
Been
Mustangs.
keeping up
finished
with them
second
for a
behind
while
them.
now.
June Jones coaches them, right? I mean,
Multi-purpose
You knew that,
coach.
right off the top of your head.
so, I mean, they're in Conference USA. I mean, the swim team is. So when are we going to be in Conference
Segue.
USA? Is
April.
football.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
think so?
End of April.
It's probably, I don't know, I'm not going to say it's going to happen, but I mean,
I think things are shaping up pretty good for us to be making that switch pretty soon, I would say.
I mean, I'm just saying. I've heard it's you know.
We're not at liberty to talk about it or anything.
Well, we don't
really
don't have
know,
predictions, so
it kind of seems like we're going to head to see USA,
yeah,
which is going to be a good move because then you can stay with some of the Sun Belt teams.
Well, and all
keep the
our old
rivalry alive.
rivalries that we had, you know, the UAB, Old Dominion, you know, the old Sun Belt when the Sun Belt, you know, first happened.
Fighting Wood Sealies.
Fighting Wood Sealies. Yeah.
The other thing about CUSA, which I was telling you about Saturday night, is the bowl. Is like the football payouts from TV, their markets.
Yeah.
Is just so much more than what the Sun Belt gives out. I mean, it's substantial money that they're talking about, like hundreds of thousands of dollars more. So that's another good thing for Western moving.
Wasn't it like Western got like 60?
I want to think it was like 60,000 from the Sun Belt TV, you know, allotments to the teams, and I want to think the Conference USA was like closer to $1 million.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
It just goes to show you, you know, with all these conference realignments, that football runs the roost, you know. I mean,
absolutely.
That generates the most money. So, I mean, if you got a chance to go to a different conference to make more money for your university, you got to go do it, you know, plain and simple. So, we're kind of running close on time, so we kind of
hour show.
We teased everybody about a big announcement. So I guess it's time to make that big announcement before we go off the air, and then we don't make a big announcement. And it's
Big announcement is, I'm sorry, everybody, but I'm going to be gone for a little bit.
But we're going to replace him. We do have a good replacement. We got a good replacement for him next week.
Next week on the show, we will have the legendary WKU basketball, the legend. Jim McDaniels will be in studio with us for the whole 30 minutes, and we'll be talking Western Kentucky hoops, and we'll be talking about the glory days of Western Kentucky basketball.
That guy can talk, too. We're not going to get to say anything.
Well, I'll just give him the whole 30 minutes. Just let him.
He's a good guy to listen to.
We're trying
a lot of insight.
We're trying to negotiate to get an hour show, so we'll see what goes on with that. But, yeah.
Jim was pushing that negotiation, too. He wants an hour.
You know, for those of you that don't know, we did a telethon Saturday night here. And we got to meet him, and he really wanted to come on the show.
Sitting there and watching the game with him and hearing his insight is probably one of the cooler things I've got to do as far as basketball goes. I mean, that was awesome getting to hear from, you know, the all-time leading scorer here, just to him analyzing things and him talking about how it was when he played. I'm looking forward to next week for sure. I'm going to have to DVR it. And watch
I mean, those are some, I mean, talk about really good basketball teams back in the day. I mean, you know, Western, and then, I mean, other people in the conference and everything like that, and teams that he played. And it's going to be pretty cool to just sit back and listen to him talk. I've
seen videotape. If we can get that for next week when he matched up against Artis Gilmore, who's one of the top 50 NBA players
Jacksonville,
of all time.
baby.
Jacksonville Dolphins. If we can get that video, that'd be sweet, because it's two 7-footers that both played in the pros that were both All-Americans going at it, and that's some good stuff.
So, yeah, Jim McDaniels will be here next week.
We do really good with celebrity guests when somebody isn't here. I mean, we had Manti's girlfriend, Adam Miss. I think he's going to be Jim McDaniels. I mean, that's just.
I think he's going to be a little more chatty than Lene Kikuta. So.
Do we have time to do a Hot Springs pitch, or are we almost out of time?
Do a Hot
we got
Springs
two minutes.
We have 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Do it.
Okay, come to Hot Springs. Is this camera right here?
That was a really bad pitch, man.
No, I'm not done yet. What do you can attest? We've been 4 years. And,
every year it's been in Hot Springs we've been.
It's the first year we were down there were a lot of fans.
It's gone downhill every year.
And it's been downhill every year. But, I mean, last year you saw what happened, and then we got, I don't know, probably close to 700 or 800 fans down there for the championship game. But it's a fun time. There's a lot of things to do in Hot Springs. If you want to do tourisy,
if you're a good
downtown,
tourist,
there's
you can have fun in Hot Springs.
There's Hot Spring Bash you can go to, Gangster Museum, racetracks,
so legit.
Sunbelt dance teams are always good looking, so you have something to look at.
Students, you can get in free to the games.
Students get in free.
Carpool to Hot Springs. You ain't nothing else to do spring break. Nobody wants to go to Panama and all that. Go to Hot Springs.
And we'll be there. We'll be there.
Hey, we used to go to Hot Springs for our spring break.
That's what I'm saying.
You can go to Hot Springs and then go on spring break, because spring break's starts that Monday.
The championship ends on Monday. So
I think the best thing to do is to not really talk about the hot clubs and everything like that. Just go to Hot Springs and support the Western Kentucky Hilltops. How about that?
There are no clubs in Hot Springs. There's elderly clubs in Hot Springs.
There's a casino.
There is a casino.
All right. Well, I think that sales pitch went incredibly wrong. So.
It went downhill fast.
Somebody's going to be giving us an email. I did a terrible job.
Yeah.
No more sales pitches.
That might be why it's going to New Orleans.
Yeah, next year to be in NOLA, right?
Yeah, NOLA's going to be fun.
I've never been to New Orleans.
Yep. So. But anyway, we just want to let you guys know that next week Jim McDaniels will be in studio with us for the entire 30 minutes.
Be sure to tune in for that.
Yes,
I'm gonna miss all y'all, but Jim's gonna be there.
And once again, we thank you guys
See y'all next week.
See y'all next week.
Go Tops.
Peace out.